Have you ever felt that the more deeply you think, the more isolated you become, that the more you understand, the fewer people want to listen? You're not alone. Throughout history, society has feared deep thinkers not because they are wrong, but because they reveal uncomfortable truths. From Socrates to Nietzsche, Galileo to Tesla, brilliant minds have been ridiculed, silenced, or ignored. Intelligence, rather than being celebrated, often isolates those who possess it. Why does society resist deep thinkers? The answer lies deep in human psychology. When we encounter someone who is physically strong, we admire them. When we meet someone wealthy, we may envy them but do not feel personally threatened. But when we face someone intellectually superior, something different happens. Psychologists call this the mirror effect. Deep thinkers reflect the limitations of those around them, making others feel inadequate. Unlike strength or wealth, intelligence is tied to identity. Our thoughts and beliefs shape our sense of self. When challenged by someone who thinks more deeply, many react defensively. Instead of admiring intelligence, they resist it, not because deep thinkers are arrogant, but because their very presence forces others to confront their limitations. The biology of rejection. Neuroscience confirms that when people feel intellectually inferior, their brain's amygdala, the center for fear and threat detection, becomes highly active. Deep thinking is not just intimidating, it triggers a survival response. For most of human history, survival depended on social acceptance, not intelligence. Our ancestors thrived in tribes where group harmony meant safety. When a deep thinker disrupts the social balance with challenging ideas, they unknowingly trigger the brain's defense mechanisms. This explains why many intellectuals feel isolated, not due to a lack of social skills, but because their intelligence makes them stand out in a world that values conformity. A Stanford University study found that deep thinkers are perceived as less threatening in one-on-one settings but face rejection in group environments where social status matters more. In groups, individuals do not just react to intelligence itself, but also to how others perceive them in comparison. If someone feels outshined, they instinctively undermine or exclude the deep thinker to protect their social standing. The paradox of intelligence in society. Confidence often outweighs intelligence in social settings. People are drawn to those who project certainty, even if their ideas are shallow. This is why charismatic yet simplistic thinkers gain more influence than nuanced intellectuals. Social media amplifies this trend. Platforms prioritize engagement over depth, favoring viral sound bites over thought-provoking discussions. Algorithms reward controversy and emotional appeal rather than critical thinking, sidelining intellectual discourse. Moreover, institutions reinforce this preference for simplicity. Schools reward obedience over independent thought. Workplaces favor conformity over innovation. Politics rewards those who tell people what they want to hear rather than those who challenge existing beliefs. Society claims to value intelligence but only embraces it when it is no longer threatening. Consider Galileo, once branded a heretic for proving the Earth revolved around the Sun, or Tesla, who envisioned free energy but was dismissed by industrialists who saw him as a threat. Their ideas were eventually accepted, but only in hindsight. How can deep thinkers navigate society if intelligence often leads to isolation? How can deep thinkers find connection and fulfillment? Schopenhauer, one of the most brutally honest philosophers, believed intelligence was both a gift and a curse. He saw that deep thinkers struggle to relate to a world that values comfort over truth. Yet he also offered solutions. 1. Embrace solitude. Use alone time for intellectual and creative pursuits rather than seeking validation from society. 2. Find like-minded individuals. Instead of trying to fit into mainstream culture, seek out those who think like you, whether in books, online communities, or intellectual circles. 3. Communicate wisely. Not everyone is ready for deep conversations. Learn when to share profound ideas and when to simplify your message. 4. Master the art of influence. The greatest thinkers made their ideas accessible. Einstein said, "If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough." Clarity and simplicity can bridge the gap between deep thought and mass understanding. The legacy of deep thinkers. Throughout history, deep thinkers have been misunderstood, ridiculed, and even persecuted. Socrates was executed for questioning commonly held beliefs. Nietzsche's ideas were dismissed as madness. Turing, whose work helped end World War II, was criminalized for his personal life. Yet their ideas changed the world. Society does not fear intelligence itself, it fears what intelligence reveals. Deep thinkers challenge comfort, expose illusions, and disrupt established norms. Their insights, though often rejected in the present, shape the future. If you have ever felt isolated for thinking deeply, know this: you are not broken. You are simply seeing the world as it is. And while society may resist deep thinkers, it is deep thinkers who push humanity forward. Dear listener, please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thanks.